Hey, what is it, you sexy beast, Tristan here, and I'm here to keep the My First series alive, you guys. I'm sorry I haven't done one of these in quite a while, but this is going to be my first best friend. If you guys wanted to really know about my very first best friend and what kind of transpired with that, and just some funny things that I realized as I got older. So, I was about 7 at this time, as done being best friends with my imaginary friend, guy's a faggot. Kidding. But, basically what happened was I moved to a different house, which was in a completely different neighborhood on the other side of town, and I was like, alright, well, and naturally, as parents do, I imagine. This is how I imagine it went. I don't know, I don't remember in full detail. It wasn't like head over heels for this kid, like Jesus. And so my parents introduced me to our neighbor who lived directly across the street from us, and his name was Andrew, and he had a brother, and so his brother was a little bit older than he is, and then my brother is a little bit older than I am. So I'm like, alright, well, we started hanging out and we hit it off, per se. I guess it sounds so gay. It sounds like just a gay, romance story at age 7. Oh yeah, you gotta start young. No, so anyway, we're basically like, yeah, this guy's pretty chill. That's Jewel. And so he didn't go to my school or anything. I actually had no idea what school he went to. I imagine he did go to school though. But anyway, we'd hang out after school and just whenever, kid stuff basically. And he actually got me into skateboarding. And skateboarding was this stage for me. It was this big thing when I was a little kid. And we would go to the rink. He was the one that we would always go down that I was going to that. Ow. I can't even talk, bro. I'm just way too tired, guys. I'm sorry. So he's the one I would always go down that hill with on my skateboard. And if you guys have seen my very first childhood stories, which if you guys are lacking in quote stories that you want to hear from me, Childhood Stories is a great 18-part series that I did that is pretty funny, and I talk about a lot of these pretty funny stories that happened when I was a kid, and so they're almost as good as my firsts. Some of them are firsts, but first time child pornography, what? And that was the thing. So he was the guy I would always ride down this thing with, and he influenced me to skateboard. Like him and I, this is what we did together. This is all we did, really. We didn't really play much inside. I know, right? Playing outside, it's a crazy, quaint notion. Like him and I didn't build forts like I did with my brothers, but we were chilling. And I remember when I first met him, he was teaching me how to ollie, and we would just do basic stupid tricks and stuff like that. And I never really learned how to do any crazy tricks like tray flip, swag, or anything like that because I was a little kid and I didn't fucking know. So it's like, alright, well, he taught me all this cool stuff, and his brother was there, and we would go down this hill, and it was pretty cool. So transitioning to what happened with the fallout, because I could repeat this stuff all day, but that guy's pretty dope. So we'd sleep over at each other's houses and stuff, and it was pretty cool because he literally lived right across the street. And so the time came where I was age 9 or so. This has been a while. We'd still been best friends for this entire time, and we'd hang out often, and our older brothers would hang out, which was kind of cool, kind of weird. But for the most part, we had been keeping up, being friends, hang out and everything. And then I don't really know what happened. So he had announced to me about a month before he was moving that he was moving, and I'm like, "Damn, dude, where are you going?" And he's like, "Oh, bro, I'm moving across town. This is gnarly." And I'm just like, "Oh, that's bad, dude. That's bad." Because as kids, you didn't have a ride, you didn't have anything to go to your friend's house if he didn't live pretty damn close, or his parents weren't willing to do that. And so I'm like, "Oh, dude, come on, no, you can't do this to me." And so he ended up leaving and going to this other, I still remember in general, location where his house is. Oh yeah. And he lived all the way across town. What it felt like. It was really not that far away, a few miles maybe, but it still felt like it was still too far for kids, skateboarding days. It was still way too far for any of that schmidt. And I was just like, oh man, well, I think this is the end, bro, because our parents weren't really up to taking us to each other's houses that often. And I remember one thing in particular. I was like, I ended up, this was a while since we'd hung out. It's been a month. I'm 9 or so at this point. And he's like, so I call him up on the phone, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, do you want to hang out? Do you want to come over? Do you want me to come over?" And he's like, "Whoa, bro, that's rude just to ask to come over to people's houses." and just I saw this like completely different side of him. Like I didn't know what happened. Like it just we just like drifted apart. And so like we had hung out a few times, and like every few months or so, nothing too crazy, but our relationship just no. Anyway, so it just got worse from there. Like that one comment just stuck with me, because I just remember talking to him, and it was just hearing that, and I was just like, what the fuck happened to my best friend? And so I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but it was pretty weird, and just the complete change in him. And so yeah, like I said, I'd been to his house a few times, and I remember one time, yeah. So I don't really know. And so after that, like after hanging out with him for a little while, he ended up telling me he was moving again to Arizona, and like he didn't exactly specify why. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess this is the end, bro. And I basically, you know, said my quote goodbyes to him, and that was basically it. But then the funniest part of this story, this is I really hope you guys made it to this part of the video, me just rambling on. This isn't really that much of a story, just about a sad friendship that used to be so great. And we also used to play pool a lot. Pool was really dope for us. Him and I liked that a lot, and we were very chill. So anyway, oh man, this is so much nostalgia. This is just too great. But anyway, I can't. The best part about this story is the fact that he's like, look, bro, I'm moving to Arizona, so it was nice knowing you and shit, and sorry we don't hang out much anymore. I'm like, all right, bro, have a good one. And so I was working at the drive-thru like a few months ago, and I'm chilling in the drive-thru, and I see him pull up in this pretty nice car, probably one of his parents' or whatever. And I didn't know it was him right away. And I'm like, damn, you look familiar. Like I didn't say anything, but I'm just like, this guy looks really familiar, and he rings a lot of bells here. And he handed me a debit card, and I looked on the debit card and I saw the name Andrew, and I was just like, this motherfucker. And so I was like, look, there's two situations that this played out. One, he didn't move at all, which is the funniest at all. Like he's like, oh, I gotta like quote break it off with this guy. Like I can't be friends with him, you know. Like I gotta tell him I'm moving. Just like every cliche in the fucking book. Because how was I supposed to know? I'm not gonna ride by his house. I'm not gonna know any other way, because he lives quote across town, only a few miles away. But I had no idea. Like I was like, I saw him in the drive-thru, and I wanted to say something to him, but I was just like, nah, just let it. Which I thought that was fucking hilarious. So either he never moved, or he moved and he came back. Either way, priceless ending to this story. If you guys made it to this part of the video, comment Drew or Andrew. Just comment Andrew. I don't really care. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of My First. I hope I was entertaining. I think I came off pretty funny at the end there, especially with that just smacking, the stab in the back, you know, whatever. That guy was a cool guy. Anyway, I really hope you guys did enjoy the story. Have a great day, and remember the fact that I'd fuck the shit out of you.